So welcome. I want to talk to you about choosing your words. And so this is something that I want you to think about, making language very conscious. And so when we actually deliberately choose certain words to describe ourselves, it really changes the way that we feel about ourselves. So one of the things that happens to me quite a bit is that I'll be in a supermarket or somewhere and people will say, "Oh, I love your hair," or "I love your lipstick." And I kind of go, "Thank you. I really like it too." So there's a reinforcement that somebody's giving me that compliment, but rather than downplaying it, which is often what we do, we kind of go, "Oh no, I didn't wash it today," or "Oh no, I need to go to the hairdresser." If we actually accept the compliment, it actually raises our vibrational energy and we feel a lot better within ourselves. So I want you to start practicing trying to keep that language really positive and having a look at, well, how do we raise that sort of feeling up within ourselves? Accepting the compliments, accepting when somebody tells you that something is positive or good is actually something that we need to kind of get comfortable with. Most of the time, and I find this because I'm Australian, in Australian culture in particular, we don't tend to take compliments very well. I'm in America at the moment. They seem to be able to give and take compliments a little bit better than we do. So there's cultural aspects to the compliment giving and receiving, but I want you to just focus in on the language. So the language is something that we have to practice. If people ask you how your day is and you tell them that it's fabulous and you're having an awesome time, it's a great day, right? Your own energy will lift. Whereas, it may not be the perfect day, but you can always turn around and make it a little bit more positive in the language that you use. Even if I'm having a bad day, I can kind of say, "Oh, it hasn't been perfect, but it's going to get better." And that little bit of like positivity or the ability to try and just use and choose language consciously to help raise up that sort of feeling around you. Now, we are all susceptible to having bad days. And trust me, I've had a couple myself recently. So the element of this is also recognizing when you're using language that isn't helping you. I've just had a recent sort of change in the business, and one of the things that's happened is I said to a lot of people for a while I was feeling quite lost. Now, as long as I kept saying that I was feeling lost, I wasn't able to find my way forward, right? So we have to consciously make an effort to change it. So what I've started saying since the new year now is that I'm on a new path. I might not be clear what that new path is right now, but I've chosen to go on a new path rather than doing something that's different, and rather than using language to reinforce this feeling that, I'm not clear about where I'm heading, right? So choose your language carefully, and I want you to think about the people that you interact with on a daily basis and the kinds of language that you use with them. Whether or not it's something that we use with, complimentary things, or is every interaction that we have with others somehow a criticism? Think about our partners or our children and how we interact with people at work. Normally at work, you kind of put on your smiley face, and then you go home and you're complaining to your partner, or you're getting cranky with the kids. So it's trying to recognize where the frustration or angst comes in, and finding an appropriate sort of way to switch that language around so that it feels like you've got a bit more control over it and it feels better to you, right? Because actually the choice of how you feel belongs to you and you alone. You're the only one that can change it. Now, we're very used to, as this society, being very egocentric, and we then kind of want to blame everybody else for making us feel a particular way. But in reality, they can do things, but we choose whether or not we actually want to react to that, right? So the recognition that they can kind of put something onto you, but you don't have to take it. I often say to people that it's like a beach ball. If somebody throws the beach ball at you and you don't catch it, then you can't engage in that play with them. There's just like, falls at your feet. What are they going to do about it? There's nothing that they can do unless you pick it up and re-engage. So often when there's not good compliments going back and forth, that we end up in this situation where we've got an interaction happening where there didn't need to be one. So if you're not happy with the way somebody's speaking with you or speaking to you, then choose whether or not you're going to engage. Or you can engage, but be very careful about choosing your language. All right, hope that helps. More below.